Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Floyd. No, it's Wallace. That's what it is. Wallace. The LVMPD got a response. All right. So, Motion 22 was an amended motion for Rule 11 sanctions by Floyd Wallace. Yo, Internet God, you're number one. Who does number two work for? Alpha Fox Adams, number two. Hello, Alpha Fox Adam. Hello, Beast Mode Jedi. Hello, Daniel William Ironside. So we're going to download this because this is going to be the operative motion that we're going to be talking about today. And then we're going to download the opposition to the motion, because this is what is good in the hood. It's good in the hood. Gainways? Yeah, I am getting fat. Thanks for noticing. Hi, Michael. All right, so we have mosquitoes everywhere. I always start filming these things right as the mosquitoes come out. So, LVMPD's opposition to plaintiff's amended motion for Rule 11 sanctions. It's apostrophe RE, not YOUR. It's YOU apostrophe RE. So I'm wondering, should we go over the... I think we should just kind of refresh ourselves with the motion. So this is the one, you know what? This is the one where he filed a motion for extension of time. It was this one. I think it was this one. And and then this is the motion. And so then this was the amended motion. Okay. But in here is where he starts talking about the Rule 11 sanctions. Right, now that I have... No, you have not missed anything, Neil McDonald. And this is not a kid-friendly show. I love you too, Christo. Now go where? I don't know. You did not miss anything. All right, so they bring the motion. This is their... Remember. So this opposition... This is their opposition... is to this motion. All right, so that's all that's on the table. That's all that's on the table. So he's seeking Rule 11 sanctions against LVMPD and its attorney. He's not going to get it. LVMPD filed a motion separated into two motions, requesting an order from this court precluding non-party and non-attorney Jose De Castro from practicing law without a license, and as a sanction for De Castro's involvement, striking Wallace's complaint. This is a little bit fast and loose. The court in this particular situation has the authority to order DeCastro to not practice law in this case. I think it would be overbroad. If an order saying you can't practice law without a license, first of all, would be redundant because there are already laws to that effect. And second of all, it's kind of outside of the scope of what is in front of this particular court. So I don't think that would work. And again, the sanction for DeCastro's involvement in striking Wallace's complaint, that's kind of stupid because all Wallace would have to do is just refile the same goddamn thing. And if the court won't accept that, which I don't know why the court wouldn't, then he make a few minor amendments to it, a few changes here and there, zhuzh it up, as the kids say, and all of a sudden he could refile it. So I do think that the court will issue an order precluding Jose DeCastro from practicing law in Wallace versus LVMPD. I think that's the extent of what the court's going to order. According to Wallace's motion for sanctions, LVMPD has no factual basis for their sick claims. Why is there an SIC there? That's proper use of there. I need one of oh shit. I was supposed to tell people in my Discord. Let's try to be such a nice guy and help people out. I offer to let Dan suck my dick, and I'm just a nice guy. I also tell people that I am live because I am such a nice guy. Letting Dan suck my dick and letting people know I'm live. Man, am I just the nicest person ever? So one of you grammar nerds. Well, if he's talking about LVMPD, because it's LVMPD et al. Alpha, it's LVMPD et al. You see, I think it. I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I think he's because LVMPD is represented by Craig Anderson and the other defendants are. So, okay. Well, I mean, that's a picky-ish point. I don't think the court's really going to appreciate that or not. I mean, I don't think the court's going to care. DeCastro is directing his litigation, and DeCastro has only paid my filing fee. Oh, he paid my file. Yeah, I had him pay my filing fee or something, and queried my complaint to the court. Either DeCastro or So DeCastro, I know you're watching this. When you respond to this for Wallace, make sure that you quote this and put an SIC in there because apparently we're picking on niggling little details. Either DeCastro or Wallace is misrepresenting DeCastro's involvement in the court. Porque no los dos. Porque no los dos. I'm probably my Spanish is probably tearing that up horribly. When LVMPD filed this motion, DeCastro was posting videos on his YouTube channel bragging about assisting Wallace in suing. Since the filing of LVMPD's motions, additional evidence has surfaced supporting LVMPD's allegations. So remember, this is not in support of LVMPD's motions. This is in opposition to the Rule 11 motion to strike. Specifically, number one, DeCastro is recorded telling LVMPD officers he is assisting Wallace in suing LVMPD, and he is the right man behind the lawsuit. Now, another thing I want to point out there is his point, Wallace's point. He had 2 points, I should say. One point was that LVMPD had presented no evidence in support of their accusations that DeCastro was practicing law, representing laws. And the other one is that they failed to do a reasonable search, a reasonable investigation to determine whether or not LVM or whether or not DeCastro was doing it. So now, again, just to be clear, I think LVMPD's motion had enough substance to it that a court is going to issue an order, should issue an order saying that DeCastro can't assist Wallace in this lawsuit. But doing subsequent research, it doesn't really help you, because Wallace's point was that you hadn't done enough investigation. So now they're doing more investigation, and you're wondering, like, well, gosh golly, like, are you kind of basically admitting that you hadn't done enough background research, enough investigation before you filed your initial motion? Are you tacitly admitting to that, or is this something new? So specifically, one, DeCastro is recorded telling LVMPD officers he is assisting Wallace in suing LVMPD, and he is the man right behind the lawsuit. And no citation to where this is, but okay, I guess this is prefatory, so we'll probably get into it. Number two, DeCastro has posted several videos on his YouTube channel claiming he's assisting Wallace in this litigation, and that he intends to help Wallace sue other police departments. Again, no citation there, but I'm assuming it's coming. 1, 2, 4. We're missing something. Again, if we're going to point out niggling little details, I'm sure that DeCastro will want to point out that point number 3 was suspiciously absent from this particular opposition. And 4, DeCastro has bragged he sues cops all across the country on behalf of others. The issue with DeCastro is he can't shut his fucking mouth. In addition, it is unclear who is filing Wallace's pleadings in this court's e-filing system. Mr. Anderson, you're welcome. You're welcome for pointing out that little nugget. You are ever so fucking welcome, sir. Wallace has never been granted permission to electronically file. However, he continues to e-file documents from an unknown account, and it is believed that his most recent filings occurred while Wallace was incarcerated in another jurisdiction. And it is believed by who? Who believes this? Like, if you're going to allege that he was incarcerated, then why don't you contact whoever and get the records? You would think, one would assume, and when I assume, I make an ass out of you and you, but one would assume that if you're representing Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, you would have access to, either through LVMPD or through other things, you'd have access to records, jail records. So why would we say it's believed? I mean, that's a weak statement. Like, the court is looking for facts, not for beliefs. The court doesn't really fucking care what you believe. Makes an ass out of you and Umption. I've never met Umption, but it certainly doesn't make an ass out of me. So why are we talking about beliefs? And if you're going to say that I'm harder on the LVMPD's attorney than I am on Chili DeCastro, yes, I am. LVMPD's attorney is a licensed, qualified, practicing attorney who should be able to perform at least a procedural level on a much higher scale, a much higher level than the great law scholar Chili DeCastro. One would imagine. There's that whole thing about punching down. Now, I don't really care about punching down. Yes, I did basically make a huge joke at the expense of that Welsh retard today. And I get it. That's punching down. He is deficient in IQ points. I understand that. but I'm also not in front of a judge. I'm in front of people who hopefully understand my humor. I think most of you did. I got mostly positive results from that particular video, and I'm not there's nothing on the line, right? Dan is not going to do shit. He's just going to make dumbass videos complaining about me, apparently. But the attorney's acting as a professional, and the attorney is going against a pro se litigant, and you don't want to look like you're punching down. The court has to take Wallace's pleadings, or Chili's pleadings, however you want to put it, has to take them and basically read them in such a way as to give them the greatest effect. The punching down stuff, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't sell well. It's an optics thing. Now, maybe this judge, or I guess striking a complaint, that would not be dispositive, but that could be dispositive. My best hunch is that would be a dispositive thing, so that this would most likely go. The magistrate would likely hear it and then make a recommendation to the district court judge. So, I mean, if the magistrate appears like maybe she might be getting a little, or am I thinking? No, yeah. So she's the one who reviewed his request for a pro bono attorney. She might be getting a little done with this whole shenanigan thing, but the district judge might not. And these guys are looking out to becoming court of appeals judges. No one wants to be a district court judge for the rest of their life. See, Mr. Miller, the issue is that the court doesn't have your biases. The court doesn't spend all day watching videos about Chili. The court knows about Chili what LVMPD has put in their pleadings and or what Wallace has put in his. It's not in front of the court that Chili has declared himself the most powerful force in the universe. And I'm sorry to break this to you, sir. I know you're probably trying to make a joke, but if someone is delusional to the point where they think they're the most powerful force in the universe and they're incapable of recognizing reality, then yeah, it is kind of punching down. You could definitely punch down on that. In short, substantial evidence supports LVMPD's allegations and its request to strike Wallace's pleadings. At a minimum, LVMPD's motion is certainly not frivolous. Sanctions are inappropriate, and Wallace's motion for sanctions must be denied. If this court is concerned about DeCastro's involvement, it should order an evidentiary hearing and order both Wallace and DeCastro to attend and testify under oath. Well, let's go to District Court of Nevada. Local rules. I think we're a day late and a dollar short to ask for an evidentiary hearing. I thought you had to put it in the header that you're requesting oral argument. And if you are requesting oral argument, I believe so. I guess it's just for oral argument. Interesting. I don't think the court is going to. I don't think the court is going to order an evidentiary hearing uh, to have Wallace and DeCastro attend and testify under oath, because remember, this is an opposition. This is an opposition to Wallace's motion for sanctions. This isn't. This isn't a reply in support of LVMPD's motion to have the complaint struck or to uh, issue an order to DeCastro to prevent him from practicing law. I don't think an evidentiary hearing uh, is necessary for the court to make a ruling on any of those issues, because remember, the easiest thing in the world to do is to order a non-attorney to not practice law in a specific case. That's an easy. It's a non-party. It's an easy thing to do. No fuss, no muss. Super simple. It's not an appealable thing, so it's an easy thing for the court to do. Striking a complaint, that's a hard thing for the court to do. You know, what is it? What is it going to gain anybody? So, and not sanctioning LVMPD for asking to have Chile not represent Wallace. That's why would they sanction them for that? Relevant facts and procedural history. The subject incident. According to Wallace's complaint, on May 10th, he went to the LVMPD's Spring Valley Area Command Center to record police officers. Wallace covered his face with a mask. He then positioned himself at a gate with signs clearly prohibiting public access. Wallace then began filming the arrival of police vehicles. Eventually, a person in plain clothes approached Wallace and asked plaintiff what he was doing. Wallace ignored the individual and never said a word. He eventually returned to the public sidewalk. While on the sidewalk, Wallace was stopped by multiple uniformed police officers. An officer approached Wallace with a drawn gun, instructed him to the front of a police car, and handcuffed him. Wallace was told he was being detained on, quote, reasonable suspicion, end quote, because video surveillance showed him trying to enter a gate not open to the public. I don't remember that. I am going to inspect what I expect. Do we already have a... we don't have an amended complaint in this one, right? So it is just the complaint. It's just the complaint. And we're looking for 27. Once handcuffed, plaintiff was asked what he's being detained for and was told reasonable suspicion. One of the officers said that plaintiff was on camera trying to get into one of the gates. Well, that's certainly a little loosey-goosey. That's not exactly what was in the complaint, but I guess that's a close enough paraphrase that we can go ahead. As the officers frisked Wallace for weapons, he asserted his right not to have his wallet searched and asked for a supervisor. Wallace refused to provide his identity. And that's really stupid, to not provide your identity. There is a law in Nevada that if the officers have reasonable suspicion, they can demand you provide your identity. That was the whole subject of Hibble versus the Sixth Judicial Court. What was it? Hibble versus the Sixth Judicial District Court of Nevada. That was a United States Supreme Court case where it held that a statute, a Nevada statute, that required suspects who were detained with reasonable suspicion to provide their IDs. When the officers threatened Wallace with arrest for obstruction and failing to identify, Wallace provided his name and birthday under threat of arrest. Now, why didn't they threaten to arrest him for what was it? Attempted trespass, something like that. Why did they do that? Wallace claims the officers racially profiled him, accused him of being a terrorist and a possible auto thief. Eventually, Wallace was arrested. Wallace was transported to jail and released with a citation. The charges were eventually dropped. Procedural history. Wallace filed his complaint on May 24th. The complaint alleges the following claims for relief. Blah. LVMPD filed a motion to dismiss all claims. Was it all claims? Was it all claims? I'm going to go with it wasn't all claims. It was almost all claims. Oh, that's right. He didn't. Wallace is the one that had the excessive force claim. That's right. That was chilly. They're running together in my head. Same day, blah blah blah. Same day, LVMPD filed a motion to preclude Castro from practicing law without a license, and a motion to strike plaintiff's complaint as an improperly filed pleading. On July 24th, Wallace filed his motion to extend time to respond to LVMPD's motion to strike plaintiff's complaint. Included in the motion to extend time was the memorandum of points and authorities arguing LVMPD's motion to strike was frivolous. Wallace now claims his filing constituted Rule 11 service for his current sanctions motion. ECF 22. ECF 22 at page 267. On July 26, I served LVMPD with the actual motion for sanctions, which is attached here to as Exhibit 1. So this one's dated July 26. There's no proof of service on there. There's nothing stating that he served this one. July 26th and then August 9th. I thought you had to give him like a 1 month. I thought you had to give him like a month. Let's see. FRCP Rule 11. "21 days after service. 21 days after service. 21 days after service. "21 days after service. Well, here's a fucking problem. I don't know why our esteemed attorney, Mr. Anderson, didn't catch this. Unless my math is completely fucked up, 21 days after July 26 would be way past August 8th. It would be somewhere around the 17th. Let's take a look. Let's take us a little peeky poo. Are we ready for peeky poo? August 20 or July 26th. So there's 31 days. So there's 7, 14, 21, the 16th. The 16th. So he didn't. So this was improperly filed. It was filed too soon because the 21 days. Hey, knock it off. Kenzie has decided that he wants to chase chickens like a little shithead. I'm about to put the zapper on him. This is twice now I've seen him do it. So it has to be served, and then you have to wait 21 days. So he didn't. So Wallace didn't wait the 21 days, which means that it was improperly filed. And I mean, even in this declaration, so he's saying that an email, a sanctions letter regarding their motion, allowing them 21 days, that's not what does it. It's the service of the actual motion that does it. So he done fucked up. So Wallace done fucked up. Well, I haven't finished reading this particular opposition. So let's see what. Oh yeah, the other question I had was on we wanted it was a motion to extend time. This is when we did it. So he filed this one on July 24th. July 28th. July 18th. What did he file? July 18th. Nothing. So he says Wallace now claims that this filing constituted Rule 11 service. No, he doesn't say that. So that's another fucking issue, isn't it? This is pretty sloppy. Like, I know this is a fairly low risk opposition, but this is pretty sloppy. Not yet, and I don't think he's going to. I don't know if he made enough money with that computer raffle that he did to pay for even a round trip coach flight to the U.S. He's got to save his money for the government housing, right? On August 10th, Wallace filed his current amended motion for Rule 11 sanctions. Yada yada. Why did you say it was untimely filed? Why? LVMPD's motion to strike sets forth circumstantial evidence supporting LVMPD's belief that DeCastro is authoring Wallace's pleadings. Yeah. After LVMPD filed its motion, it discovered additional evidence supporting its contentions. The following summarizes the new evidence. Number one, Wallace and DeCastro go to LVMPD's Spring Valley Command Center. On May 11th, the day after Wallace's arrest, Wallace and DeCastro went back to SVACC and confronted the on-duty Sergeant Mark Preddy regarding Wallace's arrest. Preddy met Wallace and DeCastro in the SVACC lobby. Preddy's body-worn camera captured the encounter, and both DeCastro and Wallace filmed the interaction with their cell phones. After asking Sergeant Preddy to identify himself, DeCastro said, "This is Floyd. He is going to file a complaint today because you guys wrongfully arrested him yesterday." DeCastro then told the sergeant, "You can look up my name. It's DeCastro versus Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department." What kind of a fucking idiot doesn't remember his name? My name is DeCastro versus Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. You would think that that would be quite a long name to put on your driver's license. I mean, is your last name Department? Is your first name DeCastro and your last name Department? Is it all hyphenated? He is, he is a Latino, Latinx, whatever you want to call him, Colombian, and a lot of times they'll put a lot of hyphens. He then admitted, I'm going to assume this is still DeCastro, then admitted, "What I am going to do is assist Floyd in suing you guys." The sergeant then responded, "Okay." Pretty vague statement, but with all of the other things that they posted, then I'm sure this is all just enough circumstantial evidence piled up. DeCastro, visibly frustrated with Sergeant Peretti's calm reaction to his provocative conduct. Why does this matter? Why does it matter? Became more agitated. I guess he's painting a picture. Became more agitated and demanded to see Wallace's arresting officer and challenged Sergeant Peretti, saying, I am right here. Come do it to me. Come do it to me, copper. Come put me in your torture cuffs. I'll suit your ass in 5 seconds flat. Torture cuffs is a phrase used by DeCastro to reference handcuffs. See DeCastro's website and torturecuffs.com. Is this a real thing? The use of steel handcuffs is torture. Tortured over 4.53 million arrests. 1% of U.S. citizens were arrested by cops, I guess. 0.006% of children are placed in handcuffs in schools. A network of auditors demonstrate our rights, hold law enforcement accountable, assisting citizens, fundraising for citizens, education for citizens. Our featured campaigns. Deborah still needs $2,000. Deborah still needs $2,000? I thought her case was over. I thought that had ended a long time ago. $6,000 needed for the End Torture Cuffs campaign. Oh, this expired already. Oh, boo. I was going to donate to Deborah. Ooh, our extraordinary volunteers. Chili DeCastro. Chili DeCastro is the press. Michael Waters is web dev. Adam Watkins, human behavioral researcher. Adam Watkins, human behavioral researcher. Adam Watkins, PhD. All right. He has an actual academic? No, that's not him. No, that's not him. That's Bowling Green. No, still Bowling Green. University of Nottingham? Nope, that's not him. That's the Nottingham one. That's Bowling Green. That's the Bowling Green guy, gang membership. That's still him. Bowling Green. University of Utah. What are you? What are you? Loading. Why don't you reverse image search it? All right, we'll try that. Search images with Google. It really likes his hat. It's talking about the hat. Whoop. We'll change that a little bit. Oh, you can't see it. StreamYards cuts it off. Oh well. No, it's not getting anything off of that. And this one timed out. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here. It's a long limb, but I'm going to guess that that's not really an academic. I'm going to guess that Adam Watkins is a human behavioral researcher, like Chile Castro is a constitutional law scholar. Send your story, support change, cuff basics. Dare I? It's all about the money. Well, yes, this website is all about the money. Why are torture cuffs bad? By Michael Waters. Cuff basics. Why are they bad? They can be considered a form of physical restraint. Well, yes, they are physical restraint. And when used excessively or improperly, they can cause pain, discomfort, and injury to the person being restrained. So is it the torture cuff or is it how the torture cuff is used, Mr. Waters? You fucking idiot. Additionally, they can be used as a form of punishment or abuse. Well, when they're used, so if they're used excessively or improperly, they cause pain, discomfort, etc. But what if they're used properly? So this is again applied tightly or left on for a long period of time. This is back to the excessively or improperly. You're just being redundant and saying the same thing twice. Furthermore, being handcuffed and placed under arrest could be a traumatic experience. Yes, it can be a traumatic experience to be arrested. And the best trick, the number one thing you could do to minimize your chances of being arrested is don't fucking commit crime. Don't fucking commit crime. And the psychological effects of being restrained and in custody can be significant. Yeah, well, so we have a choice as a society, what, to not arrest criminals or suspected criminals. Furthermore, the use of force during arrest can also exacerbate these feelings. So is torture cuffs force? And if torture cuffs aren't force, or handcuffs, excuse me, we're actually referring to them as handcuffs. Are handcuffs force? And I thought handcuffs were designed to minimize the necessary force, because if the person is restrained, then they can't use force, and you don't have to use force to contain them. It's important to note that the use of force, including the use of restraints, should always be proportional to the situation and necessary for the safety of all involved. So why are they bad? Well, this guy's now arguing that you could use them. Misuse of restraints can lead to serious physical and psychological injuries that could be considered a form of abuse or torture. That is probably the stupidest waste of 5 minutes of my time I've ever seen. I'm not going to go through any more of this. All right. Where were we? De Castro then wrongfully alleged Wallace was arrested, quote, for filming cops, end quote, and reiterated, you arrested this man yesterday. You've got another lawsuit, bro. Look me up. I am going to get that son of a bitch who arrested him yesterday. De Castro then demanded complaint forms for both himself and Wallace. Preddy responded, cool, let me go get you guys some forms. However, before he could leave, De Castro began to verbally attack. It's not attack if it's verbal. You can say, like, he began to berate a female receptionist. He began to taunt, harass, but verbally attack. Fucking idiot. Calling her a copsucker. Well, there's been a lot of videos and stories come out about, like, cops doing gangbangs on female cops and shit. And why is it a double quote mark here and a single quote mark there? Pretty fucking weird. It's pretty fucking weird. Oof. I hope Dan comes out and orally attacks my penis. Again, you know, if you're going to be all nitpicky on someone else's pleading, expect to get yours nitpicked. And alleging she had violated his unspecified Fourth Amendment. Well, I mean, you specified the amendment. It's the Fourth Amendment. That's a specific amendment. Maybe not a specific right contained in the Fourth Amendment, but he specified the Fourth Amendment. So it's not an unspecified Fourth Amendment. It is the Fourth Amendment. When Preddy responded, "We're not going to be insulting her today," because that's what cops do, is they like to try to control situations that they shouldn't be trying to control. And I'm not saying that like you should go in and berate clerks or secretaries or anything like that. But I am saying that cops aren't there to police speech. DeCastro became angrier, telling Sergeant Preddy he is a tyrant, a thug, and a pig. Well, yeah, I mean, that's his First Amendment right to do that. And, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that part about Sergeant Preddy. I was fairly impressed with Sergeant Preddy because I saw a portion of a video where Chili was acting like a fucking shit nugget, and Preddy came out cool, calm, and collected, and everything was kosher. But cops should not be policing speech. Should not be policing speech. That's my unspecified First Amendment. That cops or anyone in the government shouldn't be policing speech. Houston versus Hill. You know, cops have to be able to accept sarcasm from the community. They have to be able to accept that. DeCastro then threatened, if Sergeant Preddy did not provide the services he's paid to provide, I will sue you by tomorrow. That'd be a hell of a lawsuit. He didn't bring me my form in a timely fashion. As Sergeant Preddy left to get DeCastro and Wallace their required forms, Wallace asked the sergeant to identify himself a second time, which the sergeant did. This is the only time DeCastro allowed Wallace to speak. Well, Eugene, just be cool. You don't have to say the same thing like 5 million times. Just be cool. You be cool. They'll be cool. Everybody be cool. All right? Be cool. Several minutes later, Sergeant Preddy returned to the lobby with the requested complaint forms. Sergeant Preddy provided DeCastro and Wallace with both a voluntary statement form and an LVMPD internal affairs form. In response, DeCastro began to incoherently recite legal case names, harass the receptionist. And he's not verbally attacking her anymore, so that's great. And insinuate Wallace's arrest was racially motivated. After Wallace took his complaint forms, DeCastro began ranting about how police officers handle DUI crackdowns, drugs, and domestic violence. All these things are in quotes. Like, I don't understand why. Like, crackdowns are a thing, right? Drugs are a thing. Domestic violence is a thing. Why do we have to put them in quotes? Or if he's quoting those things specifically, so the issue with this, so if you take out all the context and you just have nouns, and you say DeCastro is ranting about how police officers handle DUI crackdowns, drugs, and domestic violence, they stripped all the verbs out. So was DeCastro ranting? Was DeCastro ranting? Relevant to Wallace's lawsuit, DeCastro told Sergeant Preddy to inform officers who arrested Wallace that, quote, when Wallace sues them, I am the man right behind them. Well, man is a bit of a strong word. Manlit, perhaps. DeCastro then began to repeat his threats. You would think an attorney would understand the difference between a legal threat and a statement that if something doesn't happen, you will bring legal action. It's not a threat. Literally threatening to sue someone is not a threat, so they're not threatening to sue you. I know we say that a lot. We say that there's a threat to sue, but it's not. It's a conditional statement that if you don't do X, I am going to bring a lawsuit. It's not a threat. When Sergeant Preddy asked to speak with Wallace, DeCastro responded, I am a constitutional law scholar. I sue cops all across the country, and now you are going to get sued again for arresting Wallace. DeCastro then referring to Wallace's arresting officers, I am going to get their names, and they are going to get sued in a federal civil rights lawsuit. I'm going to get their names, and they're going to get sued in a federal civil rights lawsuit. Did he not name them in the complaint? I thought he named them in the complaint. May 24th was the complaint, and we have names. We have names in the complaint. So over the next 13 or so days, DeCastro got all the names. Wallace's ECF filings. Wallace has never received permission to utilize the court's ECF e-filing system. Despite this fact, an unidentified user is filing documents on Wallace's behalf. It is known. DeCastro received ECF filing privileges in his personal lawsuit against LVMPD. See DeCastro versus LVMPD, ECF number 5. DeCastro brags he is a constitutional law scholar who files lawsuits, plural, I'm guessing, across the country on behalf of others. One of Wallace's most recent filings refers to DeCastro as a, quote, well-known constitutional law scholar. Indeed, he said that not once, but twice. LVMPD's research has revealed no evidence DeCastro is a licensed attorney or has ever received any formal training. DeCastro admits in his YouTube channel he's not a lawyer, has no advanced degrees, and obtains his constitutional scholarship from the internet. I strongly suspect that yes. DeCastro operates a YouTube channel called Delete Laws, where he is a prolific poster. According to DeCastro, on or around August 5th, Wallace was arrested in Texarkana, Arkansas. DeCastro on his YouTube channel, Delete Laws, posted a live stream. DeCastro played a recording of his call to the Arkansas jail. According to DeCastro, he intended to go to Arkansas and put together the lawsuit to sue those filthy pigs on Wallace's behalf. Interestingly, it is believed that Wallace is still incarcerated in Arkansas when his current motion for sanctions was e-filed by an unknown party from an unknown account. However, DeCastro posted on his YouTube channel a photo that says, I actually work for Floyd Wallace right now. Did he post that? When did he post it? I want to know when he posted it. When did he post it? Date, time? I mean, was it a year ago? Was it last week? When did he post it? Oh, now we have a date. Over a year ago, DeCastro posted another video claiming he's driving to Plano, Texas, where, quote, I am filing a federal civil rights lawsuit on behalf of another individual. See where that quote ended though? Did he actually say on behalf of another individual? DeCastro admitted to assisting the potential plaintiff with the assistance of his, quote, law partner, Bobby Law, X Factor, and Shauna. Fleet Laws filing federal rights lawsuit, Dallas, Texas, $400 fundraiser at 0 minutes to 2 minutes, Exhibit A. So a year ago, he alleges in a fundraiser stream that he is filing on behalf of someone who is not Wallace. Fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. DeCastro posts video instructing individuals on how to file lawsuits, e.g., delete laws, how to submit your paperwork to see if there is a civil rights lawsuit. And how does this not jive with Wallace's statement that he basically copied Chili's work? In 2022 in Ohio, DeCastro was accused of the unauthorized practice of law. Wow. The Supreme Court of Ohio's Disciplinary Council concluded DeCastro, quote, likely engaged in the unauthorized practice of law, but chose not to pursue the matter because, quote, it is unlikely that Mr. Castro would respond to a complaint to appear, as evidenced by Mr. Castro's evasion of an Ohio warrant for his arrest. Letter from the Supreme Court of Ohio Disciplinary Council, Exhibit C. So he likely did. Now, I know those of you who think this means something, but this doesn't mean anything. This is an investigation. This isn't the conclusion of a legal proceeding. So they're like, yeah, we're not going to have the fucking legal proceeding because he probably won't even fucking come to Ohio. I mean, I get it. I get it. He's throwing all the spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, but this is not good spaghetti. Finally, according to DeCastro, because see, the only thing that fucking matters is this. Did LVMPD either state sufficient facts to show that their filing of a motion to strike the complaint was well-founded, or did they do a reasonable investigation? That's all that we're talking about. All this other shit that's going on here, I mean, you might be getting lost in it. I'm not. The only fucking thing that's relevant is because this is his motion for sanctions, and this attorney failed to note that he did not comply with the provisions of FRCP 11. So did they have a reasonable amount of alleged facts, and or did they do a reasonable investigation? That is all that matters. That is all that matters. All this shit about now DeCastro allegedly practiced law in Ohio doesn't fucking matter. That's not the point. Finally, I was listening to my stream last night because I like to listen back to it just to see like if I said anything really stupid. And I found that I was going, smacking. Jesus, that irritated me. I would not listen to me if I was doing that. I try not to smack. Finally, according to DeCastro, he brings these lawsuits to harass and damage the reputation of officers and force government entities to incur unnecessary costs and fees. Although he claims he wants to win the lawsuits, he admits his main purpose is running up legal fees and costs for the defendants. What does this have to do? What does this have to do with the price of rice in China? Absolutely nothing. In sum, there is substantial evidence that DeCastro is filing and pursuing lawsuits on both his own behalf and the behalf of others. The question is not is there now, but was there in LVMPD's motion? And number two, do they do a reasonable investigation? And when you're bringing up things like in 2022, he was accused of the unauthorized practice of law. That means that you, and you didn't include it, that means that you didn't do a reasonable investigation, right? Or this shouldn't have been brought up. One of the two. Either you shouldn't bring it up now, or you should have brought it up then. Or this other one, over a year ago. Either you should have brought it up then, or you shouldn't be bringing it up now. The picture. Oh, hold on a second. Let's the whole issue with the Sergeant Preddy. That was before this lawsuit was filed. Either you should have brought it up in your initial motion, or you shouldn't be bringing it up now. All of this shit, like you're not. Very unimpressed. I am very unimpressed. Now I understand what Anderson's doing. He's doing an end run around not having addressed this stuff in his motion for to get the order to have DeCastro order not to represent Wallace. He should have had it in his motion. He did not do the investigation he should have done. He should have had it in his motion, and now he's trying to do an end run to add to his case that should have been in his fucking motion. Disappointment! So I get it. It's just Rule 11 legal standards. FRCP provides for the imposition of sanctions when a filing is frivolous, legally unreasonable, or without factual foundation, or is brought for an improper purpose. I don't think that the initial motion was brought with an improper purpose. Frivolous filings are those that are both baseless. I don't think their original motion was baseless, and made without a reasonable and competent inquiry. Well, I think they did make a reasonable and competent inquiry. They had enough facts. I don't think any of the subsequent facts they put in here is going to change much, if anything. So, filing is not frivolous so long as the filing one is not being presented for any improper purpose. I don't think it was. The quote legal contentions are warranted by existing law. I think it was. And the factual contentions have evidentiary support, or if specifically so identified, likely or will likely have evidentiary support after a reasonable opportunity for further investigation or discovery. And number 4, the factual contentions are warranted on the evidence, or if specifically so identified, are reasonably based on belief or a lack of information. Wallace argues LVMPD lacks a good faith basis to ask this court to strike his complaint because LVMPD has no factual basis for their claims that DeCastro is ghostwriting or otherwise assisting Wallace with his pleadings. Wallace is wrong. That's well phrased. Wallace is wrong. I like that. That is the right. Hercules. Wallace is wrong. I like that. That is strong. That is a strong assertion. I still don't think that the court is going to strike the complaint. LVMPD has good faith basis for its allegations, Wallace carefully avoids DeCastro's actual involvement in its litigation. His filing does not include a declaration or affidavit from himself or DeCastro disavowing LVMPD's allegations. It doesn't have to. I'm not entirely sure why he expects DeCastro to write a declaration or affidavit in this, and Wallace, by signing the pleadings, has by signing the pleading, the unrepresented party is certifying to the best of Wallace's knowledge, information, and belief, formed after an inquiry reasonable under the circumstances, that the factual contentions have evidentiary support, yada yada. That denials are warranted on the evidence, yada yada. So what by signing the opposition to the motion, etc., Wallace is saying that this is true. Wallace is saying it's true. So why does he have to? Why does Wallace have to include a declaration from Wallace that Wallace is not being represented by DeCastro? Simply by putting it into the motion or the opposition to the motion itself and signing it, that does it. And if Wallace is being honest, which, I know he's not. I know DeCastro's writing these things. But if Wallace isn't, then, or if Wallace is being honest and DeCastro isn't writing these pleadings, then why would you assume that DeCastro would fill out an affidavit or otherwise get involved? That specifically would tie DeCastro to this particular. Now he's involved in this, and he's giving the court more power over him. Right now, what the court can do to Chile is fairly limited. Rather, he claims LVMPD's motion is frivolous because LVMPD failed to support its factual assertions with a declaration or affidavit, and the attached documents has no authentication. Here's the funny thing. LVMPD knows that they don't have to support their factual assertions with declarations or affidavit. They're going to go on and talk about it. But then they're saying, wait, but Wallace hasn't done one either. It's like, wait a minute. Either you need one or you don't. You can't plead both fucking ways. You look stupid when you're doing it. Further, and now don't get me wrong. Wallace, aka DeCastro, looks fucking stupid with this. You haven't pled enough facts when there's all sorts of facts. I mean, I think Wallace actually said you've pled no facts when they actually did plead significant facts in their initial motion. But this doesn't help LVMPD. I think I already answered this. I think LVMPD wants to get a psychological victory over Wallace by having the complaint struck, is really what I think it is. They want that psychological victory. They want to make Wallace work for it. Right now, Wallace is getting carried essentially by DeCastro. Wallace has to put in zero effort, and DeCastro is doing all the work. So why wouldn't Wallace just continue this? Why wouldn't Wallace push and push and push? If they can get Chile out and they can get the complaint struck, then Wallace is going to have to do actual work, minimal or otherwise, to prepare and file a new complaint. And Chile theoretically won't be able to assist him in that endeavor. So that's why I think they're pushing so hard. I still don't think that they're going to win on the complaint being struck. I've been wrong before. I could be wrong on this one. Maybe they think they have a good chance at it, but you ask 50 different attorneys what a particular statute means or what the odds of a particular motion success are, and you'll get about 100 different answers. Further, Wallace claims LVMPD's motion is frivolous because LVMPD did not authenticate its exhibits, relies on hearsay, and, quote, a supporting declaration must be served with a motion. Unsurprisingly, Wallace fails to cite any legal authority supporting his argument. That's true. Wallace's motion for sanction demonstrates a complete lack of understanding of Rule 11. The rule clearly states that a filing is not frivolous so long as the filer has or, quote, will likely have evidentiary support after a reasonable opportunity for further investigation or discovery. 11b. So I don't know if you caught this, but I caught this. He left out a little something. He left out a little something. Look for if specifically so identified. He starts quoting here. Why does he start quoting there? Why does he start quoting there? Because he didn't specifically so identify. This guy, whew, you know, I was hopeful. I was somewhat impressed the first time that I read some of his. I think maybe I was just refreshed that it wasn't Wish, because Wish was a whole new level of fucking incompetent, and it wasn't Chili, because Chili's obviously fucking incompetent. But I was really hopeful. And this is disingenuous. Like, does he really think the court's gonna fucking miss if specifically so identified? So this court is a federal district court. They deal with federal rules of civil procedure day in, day out, right? I'm a shitty first-year family law attorney. I have done very little federal work. I haven't done a lot. I've done some. I haven't done a lot. Very little federal work. And I'm like, hold on a second. You're missing something. If a shitty first-year family law attorney like me can figure it out, don't you think the magistrate or judge or whoever's going to be reading this is going to figure it out? And if they don't you think their law clerks are going to figure it out? And if they don't you think the law clerks can actually fucking open up FRCP Rule 11 and, I don't know, fucking read it? Very unimpressive. Very unimpressive. There's no requirement a moving party must support their allegation with a declaration or affidavit that exhibits must be authenticated. You know, that's pretty fucking weird. And then it goes on. Interestingly, Wallace did not dare. He didn't dare to provide an affidavit or declaration stating DeCastro was not drafting and filing his pleadings. He didn't dare to. Why does that matter? Why the fuck does that matter when under Rule 11, the thing that you've just been citing, by signing the motion, by signing the response to the motion, by signing any papers that get submitted to the court, actually, it's not even just by signing them. It's by signing, filing, submitting, or later advocating for it. He certifies under the best of his knowledge, information, belief, formed after reasonable inquiry under the circumstances, yada, yada, yada. So, I just don't understand. I don't understand. This is arguing out of both sides of your mouth. They didn't provide an affidavit. But they demanded we provide an affidavit. We demanded they provide an affidavit. Neither side has to provide an affidavit. And this is just stupid. This is just stupid. Like somehow declaring something under penalty of perjury is worse or better than signing it under Rule 11, which has sanctions available. After notice and a reasonable opportunity to respond, that's normal. The court determines that Rule 11B has been violated. The court, of its own volition, on its own, the court may impose an appropriate sanction on any attorney, law firm, or party that violated the rule or is responsible for the violation. So it doesn't like, oh shit, you couldn't see that. This is subsection C. The court can, on its own, the court can order an attorney to show cause. And it's of an amount to deter repetition. It can include non-monetary directives in order to pay a penalty, reasonable attorney's fees. I mean, what? This is stupid. This affidavit declaration thing is fucking stupid on so many levels. As set forth by the documents and videos, LVMPD has compelling evidence, clear evidence, to Castro's ghostwriting, filing, and or otherwise orchestrating Wallace's pleadings. Wallace represents DeCastro's only involvement is, quote, paying my filing fee and, quote, couriering my complaint to court. Is that true? I don't think that's true, because Wallace also said that he plagiarized DeCastro's complaint. So is that so who's playing fast and loose with the facts now? Who the fuck is playing fast and loose with the facts now? Because why aren't we mentioning that Wallace specifically stated that he plagiarized Chili's complaint? Wallace's representations on this issue are problematic because DeCastro disagrees. Well, here's the fun fact for you. Wallace's representations are under threat of Rule 11 sanctions. DeCastro's are under the threat of no sanctions. They're not under penalty of perjury. They're just statements to YouTube. They're just statements to YouTube. So why is this problematic? Why should the court treat as equally weighty representations made that have potential sanctions against you if you lie versus representations made on YouTube where you're going to engage in puffery to try to increase your value, to try to increase your clicks and views? According to Castro, one, he is the, quote, constitutional scholar, quote, behind, quote, Wallace's lawsuit. That's a real fucked up. Again, no verbs. Why do we quote everything but a fucking verb? Why do we quote everything but a fucking verb? And what does it mean to be the constitutional law scholar or constitutional scholar behind Wallace's lawsuit? Let's just assume, arguendo, that Chili said that exact fucking phrase. Best case scenario for this attorney. I'm the constitutional scholar behind Wallace's lawsuit. Well, last time I saw, oh shit, what was that? Trump's impeachment. There were a bunch of constitutional law scholars, real ones, that actually like teach at law schools and universities and write law review articles and things like that. There were a bunch of constitutional scholars that were on the various sides, that were working with the lawyers for the lawyers that were engaging in this, and even giving their opinions on the stand to court. So were they engaged in the unlicensed practice of law? Were those constitutional law professors engaged in it? I don't think so. This doesn't say what the lawyer wants it to say. This is innuendo. And again, the whole point of this fucking pleading is an opposition to Wallace's motion for fucking sanctions. Did you present in your initial motion, not now, not on the reply, in your initial motion, did you present sufficient facts? I think you did. Did you conduct a reasonable investigation? I think you did. This doesn't go to that. This doesn't go to that. It goes to nothing of that. 2, he is, quote, assisting, quote, Wallace with the lawsuit. Well, at least we have a verb this time. He's assisting Wallace. But we don't have any quoted nouns. So did he say, I am assisting Wallace with a lawsuit? Did he say that? And what does that mean? Paralegals assist attorneys with lawsuits. I know a lot of pro se litigants, like a husband and a wife will work together on the wife's lawsuit or whatever. Are they really engaged in the practice of law? I mean, is that a road we really want to go down? Assisting someone. I mean, in California, there are legal document preparers that assist pro se litigants with preparing documents. They're not engaged in the practice of law. So what does assisting mean? 3, he has a, quote, law partner and, quote, legal team that includes, quote, Bobby Law, quote, X Factor, and, quote, Shauna. Well, he also says that he's not an attorney. So what does it mean to have a law partner? What does it mean? What does it mean to have a legal team? And what does that have to do? The law partner legal team, the Bobby Law references, they were over a year ago. They were well before this lawsuit. So what does that have to do? What does that have to do with this? Haven't heard about Bobby Law in a while? Well, you know what? Neither have I. But this fucker's like dug years into the past to try to find something. He is currently, quote, work and then ing for Floyd Wallace. Well, it was working for Floyd Wallace, right? I actually work for Floyd Wallace, right? I actually work for Floyd Wallace, right? What does that mean? That's not a complete sentence. That's not proper English. That's not good grammar. What does it mean? What came before it? Now, the attorney added now to the end of it. I actually work for Floyd Wallace right now is what the attorney wants it to say. But what if, so if this is some scrolling text, if this is something that's going by, and again, we don't know the fucking timing on it, and we don't know what capacity. This doesn't say, like right now, we don't know. He didn't provide us any indication of when this right now is. It's over here on mine. He didn't give us any indication on when Delete Law has posted this. So right now is when. Right now is when. Because we don't know when it was posted. And we also don't know what capacity he was working for News Now Omaha, Floyd Wallace. We don't know that, right? He could be working to raise money for Floyd Wallace's legal defense. He could be raising money for Floyd Wallace to get bail. We don't know. We don't know. I understand what the attorney wants you to believe, but these don't say what he wants you to say. And intends to sue other agencies on Wallace's behalf. 0 quotation marks there. Congratulations. Thus, if Wallace's possessive, if Wallace's is being truthful, excellent point, Ed. I actually work for Floyd Wallace. Right. Yeah, could be. I mean, we don't know. That's the fucking problem. That's a fucking problem. And also, you know, if you're going to use the matter, use the out of court statement for the truth of the matter asserted therein, then it's hearsay. So if he's just offering it to say, well, you know, DeCastro said this, and so I'm trying to, it could be Floyd Wallace's rights. It could be a lot of things. I mean, who the fuck knows? You don't know. I don't know. We don't even know when it was posted. But the problem is, if you're using an out of court statement for the truth of the matter asserted therein, then it's hearsay. And the court should treat it as hearsay. The court should be smart enough to treat that as hearsay and to disregard it on that basis. You know, if it's just an out of court statement, just offered for the truth of the matter that DeCastro stated it, sure, great, but nothing beyond that. Thus, if Wallace, no apostrophe S, is being truthful in his recent filings, his dispute is really with DeCastro constantly taking credit for Wallace's actions in this lawsuit and claiming to be the driving force behind it. No, his dispute is with you filing a motion which he believes was frivolous. That was his dispute. He doesn't have a fucking motion against DeCastro. He hasn't filed a lawsuit against DeCastro. Like, I don't know what, that's a stupid, like, I get it. You're throwing spaghetti at the wall. You're trying to make it sound like these guys are mortal enemies, but you can read these things in such a way that they're not actually antagonistic to each other. DeCastro's either misrepresenting his role to LVMPD and his YouTube viewers, or Wallace is misrepresenting facts to this court. And again, porque no los dos. But yes, so why should the court believe Chile over Wallace? Why should the court believe Chile over Wallace? The duo's inconsistencies on the issue are enough to warrant an in-person evidentiary hearing. Well, not for the purposes of this motion, sir. This motion can be decided, i.e., the motion for sanctions filed by Wallace against LVMPD can easily be resolved without an in-person evidentiary hearing, because all that fucking matters is, did LVMPD plead facts in the original motion for Rule 11 sanctions that they filed against Wallace? If yes, great. If no, well, you don't need an evidentiary hearing for that. You can look at the fucking pleading. I was hopeful. I got to admit, I was hopeful. I saw this came over. People posting about it on my Discord. I'm like, okay, sweet. Like, we've got something. We've got something to go with here. And I am significantly disappointed in this opposition. Significantly disappointed in it. Like, if Chile had wrote this, I would have been impressed with Chile's improvement. But this isn't something an attorney should be proud to have written. Wallace's ECF filings established De Castro or someone else is engaging in the unauthorized practice of law on Wallace's behalf. It's a whole pesky or someone else thing. Or someone else. Wallace has never requested authorization to file electronically. See General Court Docket. Despite this fact, Wallace has continuously e-filed through an unidentified account. Coincidentally, De Castro has been granted electronic filing rights in his case. So have like 5 bazillion other people. So Nevada's local rules IC set forth the rules for electronic case filing. According to local rule IC 2-1, a pro se litigant may request the court's authorization to register as a filer in a specific case. Oh, interesting. Well, how do they know that the consent form was or wasn't submitted within the time frame? Is it filed? I don't know. I've never been a unauthorized filer. I've never gone through the pro se filer process. And honestly, I've only done federal work at a law firm for another attorney, so I didn't have to have my own filing thing. So, consent form. Would that be filed? I don't know. Or would it be just submitted to the clerk or the people who do the electronic filing stuff? I don't know why that would have to be filed. A pro se litigant may request this court's authorization to register as a filer in a specific case. According to local rule IC 2-1, a plaintiff who is not registered as a filer must file documents by delivering originals of the documents to the clerk's office by hand delivery, U.S. mail, or similar carrier service, such as Federal Express. Any attorney or other applicant seeking to become a filer must submit a completed registration form available on the court's website. The filer then receives a login and password to permit the filer to access and file documents. The filing of a document through the use of an authorized filer's login and password constitutes the signature of that attorney or party for the purposes of Federal Rules of Procedure 11. The court deems the filer's login and password to be confidential, and no person is permitted to use a filer's login and password unless specifically authorized by the filer. The signatory must be the attorney or pro se party who electronically files the document. Pursuant to local rule IC 7-1, the court may strike documents. That do not comply with these rules. Wallace has never been provided with a login or password permitting him to file documents. Thus, an unknown individual, could be De Castro, might not be, you don't know, is filing Wallace's documents via the court's ECF system. Whoever is filing Wallace's documents via the ECF system is considered the author of the filing, as, quote, the signature must be the pro se party who electronically files the documents. Thus, whoever is filing, well, author, no, doesn't mean they're the author. The signature must be them. There are some districts out there that allow people to have attorneys ghostwrite for them, and the attorney doesn't have to put his name on the document. Some districts require the attorney to have his name on the document, etc. But others don't. So I don't know what's going on. All right. I remember this came up in Massachusetts, I think. Thus, whoever is filing Wallace's documents is practicing law. The person must be an attorney or a pro se litigant with permission. Thus, if DeCastro is filing Wallace's documents, all of Wallace's filings in the case should be struck. But you haven't been able to prove that DeCastro is filing the documents. See, that's the fucking problem. You haven't been able to prove. There's a lot of things that make it maybe a little bit more likely, but preponderance of the evidence, all you can show is that someone is filing them. That's really all you could show. I don't think that the LVMPD has provided enough evidence that it's actually DeCastro doing it to justify striking the complaint. Finally, upon information and belief, and here's the fun thing: the complaint. We're going to share this tab instead. This is the complaint. Notice anything funky about this one? Notice anything funky about this one? This one is not filed by ECF. This one is not filed by ECF. Why should we strike this one? Chile could not have filed this one by ECF because this one was not filed by ECF. How do you know? Look at the stamp. The clerk stamped it. This is a scan. And then they added the case stuff up here. This is a scan. They stamped it and then they scanned it. So all of this shit is so fucking immaterial. So fucking immaterial. So yeah. I mean, somebody could be filing this stuff, and it could be DeCastro. But you know what? He sure as shit didn't file the complaint. And as much as nobody wants to believe it, it's a pretty good defense for Wallace to say, you know what? I just copied Chile's complaint. I just copied his complaint. He's filing in the same place. He's also an auditor. I know him. I just copied his complaint. Pretty fucking good defense, if you ask me. Thus, if the cast blah blah. Finally, upon information and belief, when Wallace's current motion for sanctions was filed on August 10th, 2023, Wallace was still incarcerated in Texarkana, Arkansas, and was therefore unable to personally file the document. What does this have to do? Like, again, this is in opposition to a motion that the motion that you filed was frivolous. The motion that you filed was before August 10th. What does this have to do with that motion? It wasn't ECF. He went in there with him or something like that, but I don't think so. I'm shocked the ECF system doesn't clearly identify the specific account used to file into a case. You'd think that a filing into the LVMPD case could be traced back to a specific account. It probably can. But the attorney would probably have to subpoena the information from the court's ECF people, the geeks who do that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they fucking know who did it. Well, not the court itself, not the judge itself, but the nerds who take care of the servers and who take care of the software, etc. I'm pretty sure that they have a way of telling who filed what, when, why, where, and how. There's probably a log somewhere, somehow. In some, the evidence establishes Wallace is not complying with court's local rules, and some third party is improperly using their confidential ECF login and password to file Wallace's documents. What does this have to do? What does that statement have to do with Wallace's complaint? This court should deny any sanctions against LVMPD and order in-person evidentiary hearing on these issues. What are the issues? Did LVMPD file a frivolous motion? That's the issue. Like, that's the fucking issue. And again, we don't need a goddamn evidentiary hearing on it. Wallace has not met his burden on Rule 11 for sanctions. Well, oh Jesus! This whole reply. Hold on a second. This whole fucking reply. Did he respond like really to anything? The only response he made was that Wallace demanded a declaration. That's literally the only thing in there. That Wallace demanded a declaration. That's the only thing in Wallace's actual motion for sanctions that this fool addressed. Fuck me sideways. LVMPD has a valid basis for its assertions. Did you have one at the time that you filed the complaint? And did you, or the motion, and or was your motion frivolous? I mean, you might have all the reasons in the world now, but the time you fucking filed that motion, since you didn't say that it was, what was it? Is specifically so identified, since you didn't use this language at the time you filed the motion, did you have a non-frivolous basis for filing the motion? Again, I think you did, but nothing subsequent helps you in that fucking deal at all. In fact, it appears Wallace's real complaint is with the guy. Blah, 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 blah. Further, what the fuck is this? Further, to ensure no unauthorized practice of law is occurring, this court should also order Castro's legal team of, quote, Bobby Law, quote, X Factor, and, quote, Shauna to attend and testify. How the fuck is the court going to issue those subpoenas? I mean, assuming the court even would, like, how could they? Like, I'm going to issue a subpoena to Bobby Law. Like, where are you going to serve this? Like, what is his real name? Like, what the fuck? Like, dude, do you understand how fucking stupid that sounds? Jesus fucking Christ. Why not have Batman and fucking He-Man and Barbie show up as well? For fuck's sake. Oh. Based on the above, LVMPD requests that this court deny Wallace's motion for sanctions, and if it is so inclined, order an evidentiary hearing on the issue. You're a fucking joke. Exhibit A, Declaration of Mark Preddy. Exhibit B is the picture. Exhibit C is from the Disciplinary Council to Paul Andrew Carroll, the snitch. After investigating your grievance alleging the unauthorized practice of law by Jose de Castro under the YouTube channel Label. They misspelled labeled. Everybody make sure that you SIC when you quote this. Delete laws. We determined that we will not take further action at this time. We reviewed Mr. de Castro's YouTube video and agreed that he likely engaged in the unauthorized practice of law by drafting what purported to be a power of attorney and instructing another person to sign it. However, we have attempted to reach Mr. de Castro at multiple addresses in California, but have been unsuccessful. Additionally, as you may be aware, Mr. Castro has an active warrant for his arrest in Lawrence County, Ohio. After considering all the factors in this case, we believe it is unlikely we will obtain service on Mr. DeCastro. We also believe it is exceedingly unlikely that Mr. DeCastro would respond to a complaint or appear for proceedings before the board on unauthorized practice of law, as evidenced by Mr. DeCastro's evasion of the warrant for his arrest. Further, if the board imposed sanctions through a default judgment, we think it is unlikely that Mr. DeCastro would comply with them. For these reasons, we are exercising our discretion not to start formal proceedings against Mr. DeCastro at this time. Should we become aware of additional information regarding Mr. DeCastro's activities that might constitute the unauthorized practice of law, or if Mr. DeCastro returns to Ohio, we will consider reopening our investigation. Accordingly, we've dismissed the matter and closed our file. That was exhausting. Yo, hola! Merb with the big cock in the house. I have 2 big cocks. 3 cocks total. 2 big ones. Sup, howdy! I only came for the cock. The cock makes me come too. Hello. I love you, Merb, both in straight and gay ways. Gay ways? Oh, it was a typo. You're perfect in every way. We've been going over SIC, this entire thing. Another chili brief. Thanks, Merp. You're welcome, Fraud Editor's Daddy. I love cream cheese. I love cream cheese too. It's delicious. I'll put it on toast. I don't give a fuck. Happy Pink Taco Tuesday, Merb. Also, great to see you. Great to see you too, TK Teller Mac. Love you, Merb. Now go. Love you too, Christo. I was putting the kids to bed. Did I miss anything? I flashed my cock for the screen. Yeah, Merb stood up and his wiener popped out. Was I lying? Merb, we hay up. We hay up to you too. Merb, I just booked passage on the good ship Lollipop to New York. Then I will ride a Greyhound to Sacramento. Be patient, big boy. Hugs and kisses. Love you too, fake Dan. I'll be filing lawsuits against everyone on this live stream. Nice. It's claims. Now, man, that'll be a fun few days on the bus. You're a braver soul than I. Expletive? LVPD isn't it, not a they. Howdy, Merb, and everyone. Howdy to you too, guess who? Because you don't sick any better. Nice. Merb. Hey, Merb and chat. Things that don't render. I'm hopefully going to fall asleep listening to Merb's voice. I'm an expert in the King's English. Fair. That's all I can imagine. Chili always wins. He better than that waste of space Welsh. I'm an expert in wench English. It's tough to learn. Nice. I like wenches. What's up? Why not the 2? Hey, Aza. Yay. Evening all. The airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow is roughly 20.1 miles per hour. Asian or African, or European or African swallow. Sema evening. Guess who hiya? And purple blue piece. Who cares? It's true. Make an ass out of you and umption. So basically, LVMPD lawyer isn't good at his job. Well, I mean, again, it would really depend on his goal with this pleading. If his goal was to write a shit pleading, he's definitely written better emotions. So I'm not saying he isn't good at his job. I'm saying this was a real shit. This was a real shit opposition to emotion. Ola, did the rain affect your area? It made it a little moist, but not bad. It was humid yesterday. That was it. Like my crotch. I only file locomotions. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Yeah, because just like with Wish, they need to do their fucking job better. Yeah, they do. There refers to LVMPD. I'm guessing Craig Anderson's point with the first sick is there should be it. I mean, I guess. I still think that since he's representing multiple defendants and he's not differentiating between them, I think it's there, but I guess reasonable minds can reasonably differ. Laughing. It's fine being hard on the lawyer because he isn't doing a good job and looks like he is doing a half-assed job. Yes, he did a half-assed job. Thumbs up. Being critical of Cholito is punching down. We've gone over that one. I wish the judge would punish that POS to Castro. In this case, I think the court is very likely to issue an order telling Chile not to represent Wallace. Are you insinuating that Castro wrote the motion for the LVMPD? Nope, I am certainly not. What? Are you saying Cholito is delusional? No, how can that be? He's the brilliant mind behind the jock sock. You probably own one, so, I mean, if it's good product and you like it, then great. Jack Johnson, I do believe DeCastro wrote these motions as well. And being waving, and being waving. The attorney seems to be using vinegar instead of honey. He needs to calm down a little. Yeah. I think he's a fairly new attorney. You can get a little heated when writing oppositions. I have been known to do it a time or two myself. But you write it, and then instead of submitting it, you go back to it the next day. Read it again. Do I come across as an asshole? Remove all the shit that doesn't add anything to the pleading. Courts appreciate short pleadings. I'll tell you that. This is a 12-page pleading. If he had 12 actual pages and then attachments, if he had knocked that down to a 4-page pleading or even a 2-page pleading, just pointed out, like in his opposition, that Wallace didn't give him a 21-day harbor because, according to Wallace, he did not send a copy of the motion until the 26th or something like that, and so it was less than 21 days. Just basic things, just state kind of factual things, like here's the facts, here's the law. I don't need to. This isn't family law. You don't need to attack people. We're not looking for equity here. We're looking for a court of law, not a court of equity. Clearly. But this happened in Texas or Arkansas. No? No. Punched in the nuts. Nice. What's the big deal about under threat of arrest? Fraudsters say that all the time. Well, so I think, and this is just pure speculation, I think what they're saying is that I'm doing this so that you don't arrest me, and they're like preserving the right to sue you for wrongfully demanding it. Essentially saying that they're not waiving any of their rights. They're not voluntarily giving it up. Clearly. No, this is Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, Chile's writing down everything in this stream. Well, he probably does watch these, but he doesn't understand them half the time, and he never turns in a product that accurately reflects everything I've said. Coded at Hong Kong airport checking in. More stock vacation photos later. Nice. Send me the private ones, buddy. You know what I'm saying. The beach ones, Yeah. So again, this lawyer isn't good at his job. No, I'm not saying that. He just didn't write a good motion or opposition. Sorry, my bad. Thanks. At least he's not choking them. Hand pink waving. Hand pink waving. Chaos. DeCastro is a wannabe. Coded friend. Hand pink waving. Hand pink waving. All I want to see is the in-person evidentiary hearing if the judge grants it. Well, I don't think it was properly asked for. I think that it would have to have been asked for in the actual motion, or if contested points of evidence come up that are actually relevant to the instant motion, then maybe. But nothing in here I don't see. What up, window liquor Dan? Sup, coded. Merb to Dill Dan jump on your offer. Not yet. Sup, Jack Johnson. Just wait. You will soon be at the part he uses thus twice in the same paragraph. Did I fucking miss that? Oh. I do tend to skip past things and correct things in my head. I don't see thus twice. He does use thus 3 times in the same paragraph, though. So yeah, that's a good point. So thus, an unknown individual is filing Wallace's documents. Thus, whoever's filing Wallace's documents is practicing law. Thus, if DeCastro's, yeah, that's pretty shitty. That's pretty shitty. What was he raffling? A Tandy 1000? Tandy 1000 would probably be worth money nowadays. Careful, Merb, that clown Jimbo Felcher will be the Welsh window liquor stand-in, or should we say suck in? I don't know who that is. I know I think you've mentioned someone by the name of Jimbo on your streams, but it's kind of just background noise. I mean, it's great. I love your streams, man. I'm not dissing them. I have been indulging in them quite a bit, but I'm really not. I really don't pay a lot of attention. Sorry. What are the odds they had a paralegal write this? I would say probably low. When I have seen law firms kind of do that, the lawyer will write out the legal argument, and then he'll like have the paralegal put in like the statement of the case, like the proceedings up to this point, put in all the like the introduction stuff, yada yada, not the meat and bones of it. So I would say it's pretty low. WTF. Sorry, leaving. No dogs, no roosters, no post-apocalyptic mosquito hordes attacking, and Ahsoka just dropped. Well, have fun. He needs a Colombian necktie. I don't know what that means. If there's a lot of cocaine in it, I'm sure he'd love it. Just call me Mumbles, the window licker. LMAO at Chile begging for the torture cuffs. Yeah. He took down the fake pictures. Well, that's too bad. What up, Mumbles, the window licker? I would love to see a copper put cuffs on DeCastro so tight his hands fall off. Well, that's a little mean. I would agree. There has to be a better way than torture cuffs. Well, you would agree with that, but you're not really sane or rational. So, his website with the team members who come with a web page template. Oh, really? Really? That's pretty fucking sad. Please, officer, have I mentioned how hot you look in that uniform? Come on. Give me a reason to sue you, you brute. Nice. I got a little chub off that. Laughing. Coded, waiting for your return to the airwaves. Me too. I like this 7-finger fist drawing in the corner on Mr. Department's torture cuff website. 7-finger fist? Oh, I've got to look at that then. In the corner. All right, we're gonna. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 fingers and a thumb. Is there a bigger picture? 1 thumb, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fingers and a thumb. It's the attention to detail. Boy, howdy. Oh, you couldn't see that. Good shit. So there's a thumb, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Search images with Google. Find the image source. Nope. Search images of Google. We're going to do this one. Find image source. This one is just for in torture cuffs. Lizzie Fields. Don't find her anywhere. Like Welsh window licker makes Chili look like a hetero genius. Hi, buddy. Hi. Anyone who has ever spent time on an all posts allowed unmoderated forum understands how important moderation is. Not necessarily. It depends. It depends on the people who go there. Generally speaking, people in this community, there's a lot of undesirable people, a lot of people who like to push, who like to push the bounds of free speech. And, if you go to other forums where, if you go to an unmoderated church forum, like an internal church forum, probably be a lot less shitty. Nope, those are stock photos. Well, they're not coming up with anything. So, maybe I'm dumb. Those are all stock photos. Maybe I'm dumb, but they didn't come up with anything for me. I thought hurricane season was over. Sorry, I'm late. Can you start over? Yeah, I sure can. He has an academic that couldn't get an academic job. Nice. The people on his website are actual stock photos. I literally search images with Google, select Adam Watkins, find image source. It just has end torture cuffs. And then if I do the same thing, search images with Google, if I select Lizzie Fields, find image source, safe search blurring is on. And that's not her at all. So yeah, I'm gonna go with maybe they are stock photos, but it's not working for me. The only semi-real person there in that lineup is Chilito. Reverse image search did it. Time for some pants-free entertainment. All entertainment is pants-free as far as I'm concerned. His academic is a guy who takes his urine samples. Nice. The quote from behind bars quote was omitted. Nice. What website is that? That is endtorturecuffs.com. Endtorturecuffs, one word, .com. I did this research during a live stream. Adam Watkins and Lizzie Fields don't exist. Maybe you're smarter than I am. I don't claim to know how to do Google image search thingies, but when I do a find image source, it doesn't come up with shit for either one of these. So, again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying maybe I'm just not smart enough. I tried reverse image search. Nothing. Thank God I'm not alone. Snitch tits to Castro. Are you going to show us your tits? Snitch tits to Castro? I won't snitch on it if you do. Looked like Chili's Torture Cuffs website. It is. I told all my viewers that the End Torture Cuffs website had a virus. That's too bad. Chili really loves those torture cuffs. Well, whatever gets you off, gets you off. Do it, Merb. Handcuffs are not made to be comfortable. The fuzzy ones ask better questions. My wife likes the torture cuffs in the bedroom. Nice. Chili demonstrated how to torture with the cuffs on his own cousin by making them as tight as possible because he thinks that's how you do it. Chili is not the smartest guy in the room, even when Chili's the only guy in the room. Coded went to Cuba for sex with 8-year-old boy. Coded went to Cuba for sex with 8-year-old boy. I think you're lying. What you drinking, Merb? A little bit of bourbon in a lot of sparkling water. It has like a pineapple mango flavor. Stop. Blocked. Eugene wants a response. Stop the stream. Eugene government audits. Call down. Trolls are energy vampires. See, what do we do in the shadows if you need more context? Calm. Are you drinking from a green quart mason jar? Absolutely. You don't mods to block annoying posters like Eugene government audits. I just did it on my own. Thank you. Someone needs attention. The use of exacerbate on that site made me feel all tingly. Handcuffs are only fun if they are fuzzy. Absolutely. I will exacerbate you. Only if you buy me dinner first. Verbally attack? What the fuck? It was verbal judo, duh. Fuzzy handcuffs are fun cuffs. No kink shaming. Absolutely not. Hey, everybody. He orally attacked him. Yeah. A lot. Merb's back again? I thought the hurricane blew past us. Well, surprise. Hey, Logan Sandman. Good to see ya. Orally. Cones. Merb is so nitpicky, lol. I want to meet Merb's spelling and grammar checkers, legal aids, one day. So for my own private practice, I don't have one. I use Microsoft Word's grammar check and spelling check. And none of the law offices I work for have them either. Well, there's a couple paralegals in one of the law offices, but I don't use them. I just write my own motions and pleadings and things like that. And then the other law office doesn't have any paralegals. So, Laura, Logan, the number one thing you can do to minimize your chances of getting arrested is don't fucking commit crime. That's true. It is the number one thing you can do to minimize your chances. More angry, Laura, Cones. Do I hear hens hungry for cock, or is it dinner time? Yes. We should get a room. Oof. Bring a camera. Cops shouldn't have thin skin. Exactly. They shouldn't. They literally should not. Now, everybody's human. Everybody's human. Cops will have a bad day, right? Someday a cop will react, if you having a, didn't get to beat his wife that day or whatever, and he or she won't have the patience to deal with some opprobrious prick, but they shouldn't have thin skin. Sorry, but I want to make a point. If you are a broadcaster, you want attention. If you are contributing to the live chat and don't want attention, what the fuck? I don't understand your point, but I'm glad you were so serious in wanting to make it. Logan brings the weed. Cones is in charge of the kinky cuffs. Sounds like a party. If I use therefore twice in one paragraph, does it make my argument twice as strong? I believe that's the way it works. You can get some really long string words going too, like here and after, all is one word. Here in after is one word. You can get some good ones going. I'll bring refreshments. If cops had thin skin, Chili would be drinking his dinner every night. Well, so I think you're being a little hyperbolic. Getting irritated doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to result in punching someone's teeth out. You can get irritated. You can attempt to use your authority to crack down on someone's First Amendment protected speech because you're irritated and still not knock their teeth out. And cops are aware that people tend to get litigious and that people tend to bait them, especially First Amendment auditors and people like Chili DeCastro they want to bait the cops. They're looking for that lawsuit. So cops are aware of it. So they do moderate their responses, but they shouldn't be getting irritated in the first place. So I disagree with your statement. Deal. With both of those cocks running rampant through Merb's yard, the question you have to ask is, does Merb candle his eggs? We have hatched a few of their eggs out. Our eggs are pretty much all fertilized, and we sell them for like $8 a dozen or whatever. And the neighbors bought them, and they hatched. I think they bought like 2 dozen eggs, and they got like 16 or 15 chicks out of it. 15 or 16 chicks. I mean, and of course, not all eggs are going to hatch. Yada yada. So yeah, and we've hatched a few of the kids from this group out too. We've got 1, 2, 3 coops going full of birds. So we're rocking and rolling on them. I'll hide the cuff key. Where? Where are you going to hide it? I'll check all the cracks. Deal. DeCastro began to incoherently recite legal case names. Yep. Yeah, that is probably a very accurate description of what he did. I'm sexually attracted to sheep, too, Eugene. That's kind of gross. There is no right. There's no right to expect a thick skin, no constitutional guarantee. True, but you do have a First Amendment right to free speech, and cops can't use their authority to limit your free speech, or else that's an infringement on your First Amendment right. And if they're doing it because they are easily offended, uh, Houston v. Hill. Houston v. Hill. Do, 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. The First Amendment protects a significant amount of verbal criticism and challenge directed at police officers. Speech is often provocative and challenging, but it is nevertheless protected against censorship or punishment unless shown likely to produce a clear and present danger of a serious substantive evil that rises far above public inconvenience, annoyance, or unrest, citing Terminello versus Chicago. For example, the appellant was found to have yelled obscenities and threats at an officer who had asked appellant's husband to produce his driver's license. Appellant was convicted under a municipal ordinance that made it a crime for any person to wantonly curse or revile or use obscene or opprobrious language toward or with reference to any member of the city police while in the actual performance of his duty. We vacated the conviction and invalidated the ordinance as facially overbroad. Critical to our decision was the fact that the ordinance punished only spoken words and was not limited in scope to fighting words that, by their very utterance, inflict injury or tend to incite an immediate breach of peace. Quoting Gooding versus Georgia. Moreover, in a concurring opinion of Lewis, Powell suggested that even the fighting words conception recognized in Chaplinsky might require narrow application in cases involving words addressed to a police officer because, quote, a properly trained officer may reasonably be expected to, quote, exercise a higher degree of restraint, end quote, than the average citizen, and thus be less likely to respond belligerently to, quote, fighting words, end quote. So, yeah, I mean, I think cops should have a thicker skin. He usually is. Why, in quotes, you are still expecting this to make sense, silly, silly man. I'm sorry. Is there a delineation line from Mr. Castro to talking and ranting? Yeah, I believe it depends on the amount of Adderall he's snorted. No constitutional guarantee about the subjective nature of professionalism. I think I've dealt with you sufficiently. Eugene has spoken. It's all word vomit. Is there? I think this attorney is more interested in painting Chile as unhinged lunatic, unlawfully practicing law than the legal definitions, Merv. Well, yeah, but Chile's not on trial. He is the attorney is writing in opposition to a motion that Wallace brought, saying that a different motion brought by LVMPD was frivolous. So what he should be doing, what the attorney should be doing, is responding. It is literally an opposition that he labeled a response in the ECF system, and an opposition. It's an opposition response to Wallace's motion for sanctions. And that's what he should have been addressing. That's it. That's all he should have been addressing. Everything else is a fucking waste of time. Point me to it. My dick is right down there, by the way. Eugene. I prefer word salad. At least I can put Italian dressing on that. Italian dressing is okay from time to time. I'm kind of a ranch guy myself, or blue cheese. My wife makes an excellent Caesar salad. She'll make the dressing from scratch. Like she'll grind up the, what are those little fish called? Oh, why am I drawing a blank? Not sardines. Anchovies. What Eugene demands, Eugene gets. Is that true? Hello again, Devin. I hope you're also having a good day. There's too much emphasis on interpreted rights. Is that your interpretation? Did they watch Merv's videos on how to catch Shelley in the act through ECF filing? Probably. Which are even more subjective than the initial rights. I don't think you're using subjective correctly there. This guy looks like my cousin didn't. This guy looks like my cousin doesn't invite to family parties. Sheep hand waving. Sheep hand waving. Merb's sigh of frustration with LVPD's lawyer. Do you stream on any kind of schedule? I never get notifications. I stream when I goddamn well want to. Not a minute before and not a minute later. You look like Action Bronson without bars. I don't know what that means. Chili is actually both dwarfs, ranty and stupid, stacked and wearing oversized clothes to look like he's a normal-sized midget. No schedule, Devin. We aren't paying Merv to pencil us in on his calendar. He goes live when he feels like it. Absolutely. Vaporoso XROS replacement pods. I thought it was law. You can't pencil in anyone if you're not wearing pants. You just need the right kind of pencil. Imagine being a judge and having to deal with this pile of crap. Yeah, I know. You mean this isn't a LOL school? I want my money back. I'll give you back every penny you've given me so far. Do you think the law firm made an intern watch all of DeCastro's videos? Probably not. The attorney probably did. The legendary law firm of Law Factor and Shauna. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty prestigious. Now, that would qualify as torture, being forced to watch all of Chili's videos. Yeah, I haven't watched any of his videos in a long time. It was kind of novel there for a minute, but the word salad was too much. And I know what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, wait, and like he'll throw out like 5 concepts like really quick that are all wrong and build off each other. And you're like, you're so wrong. I don't even know where to start. It's bad. If so, I feel for the intern. Perhaps this will make sense if you wear pants. Nothing makes sense when I wear pants. No shit. I thought the worst thing I could be made to watch was vids of CP and bestiality. Watching Chili's vids would be worse. I don't know. I would much rather watch Chili's videos than CP or bestiality. I'll guarantee you that. In a New York minute. Merb, I highly recommend getting a few sheep. It will change your sex life forever. Is that so? Accused of the unauthorized practice of law, but not proven. Yep. Maybe they let the interns smoke a whole lot of weed before watching Chilita's posts. Maybe. And there are some people who really find them to be entertaining. And for those people, great. I don't find them entertaining, so it's a chore for me to watch them. But they might have an intern who just loves to watch them. It came with a job at U.S. Customs. Chili is worse. That's rough, dude. Like, you can't unsee that shit. That I have back in the heyday of the internet, I've stumbled across some of that shit. And just like, fuck. Like I feel bad for you. That and like snuff, like where people get killed or dismembered. Like, oh, Jesus, don't show me that. Like, oh, terrible. Or like what the worst thing for me. I saw this video like of like wet markets, I think in China, and they took live dogs and they just started dunking them into like live dogs, dunking them into boiling oil. Like that. Oh, I'm ruined. Like, that's just such a terrible image. Just terrible. Bill, that doesn't help. Did Murphy just say he listens to his own videos backwards? Bruh, we need to party. We like to party. Ooh, I thought those smacky sounds were the pantsless part slapping against the chair. Slay me. Maybe they were. You need a smack editor. I know a guy. Nice. I like knowing guys. Did you know that the Wellington boots are perfect to hold the rear legs of sheep? You know, like the shtick accounts like this guy and the fake delete laws. Like, you guys ever get bored with that? Like, you ever get bored with that? I get it. You're doing it for the yucks, but are you getting the yucks? I know you're not the real Dan, but dude, you do a very good impression. What are you doing to those sheep, and do the boots make them sexier? Hercules, Hercules. And pink waving, and pink waving, and pink waving. Could the lawyer, knowing you read and comment in public videos, be using the filings to laugh at Chili using your voice? Well, he's not doing a good job of it because I spent this video laughing at him or irritated with him. Oops, sorry. So, I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. I like how they slid in the fact that he has an open warrant out of Ohio. Yeah, but it's meaningless. It's meaningless. Like, I know they're wanting to prejudice the judge, but the odds of that prejudicing the judge are somewhere in the slim to none range. Which has a better chance of passing California bar, Fabio or DeCastro? Neither have a good chance, so it is the same. They have the exact same chance. I am Dan. Dan, I am. I do not like green sheep and ham. Merb has two cocks. One is Fabio and one is Inigo. I-N-Y-I-G-O. I-N-Y-I-G-O. I-N-I-G-O, except the N has a little thingy over it. Guess who's up next? Cones. My money is on Merb's cock. Oof. Just your money, not your mouth. You want to put your mouth where your money is? This seems like a lot of effort to prevent Chile from helping, but you have said before, the bottom line is this makes little difference. So why do you think LVMPD is pushing it so hard? I've answered that. Maybe Wallace has written all of DeCastro's cases. Mm-hmm. Siri, play God Save the Queen. Siri, turn up the volume. Probably because Las Vegas has more than their fair share of legal scholars from all over the world, and they finally put their foot down. God Save the Queen no longer exists. I think the song still exists. There's recordings of it out there. Maybe to punish Chile a little also. I wish Wallace would visit me in Wales. I like the BBC. Nice. Clearly. Maybe the lawyers are going hard after Chile because they get paid by the hour. Yeah, he probably gets paid by the hour. Billable hour. I know you meant British Broadcasting Corporation. Would it really matter if Chile is pushed out? Wallace would just have to have someone even less obvious help him out behind the scenes. How would they know otherwise? Well, that's my point. That's my point. But the court could and will most likely order Chile not to practice law. That's a safe order to make. What effect it's going to have in the long run, who knows? But if Chile does get caught doing it, then he could face not just criminal charges, but contempt charges. Chile left that out. Writing style. Have you seen Floyd's signature? It doesn't really matter. This will go nowhere. He's never won any of these goofy suits. Incompetence is a slut. I've been fucking incompetent for years. She's dirty. Nice. But that's my point. He'll likely get someone worse with worse writing style than Chile, and the court would say, "Look at how bad this is. It must have been Wallace. It must be Wallace this time." Well, actually, so here's the thing. If Wallace actually wants to win, I'm not saying that he has a winning case at all in the slightest, but if he wants to win, he's going to have to hire a lawyer. If he wants to win, he's going to have to hire a lawyer. I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm not saying he even can win, but if he wants to win, he's going to have to hire a lawyer. He's not going to be able to make it with Chile. He's not going to be able to do it on his own. The only chance he has, and I'm not saying he has a chance, is to hire a lawyer. I put the fun in dysfunctional. Question, do you think the court will hold Chile for pretending to be a lawyer when he goes in on 9/12, or wonder if they will come get him before? I don't think the court will hold Chile for pretending to be a lawyer. I fear the worst. Chile got wet, and now the evil Chile is writing for Las Vegas. Nice. Is it? I think it's when they eat after midnight that they go evil. It's water makes them wet. Or water makes them wet. Water makes them reproduce. The gremlins. Is it not that Chile is submitting the electronic files with a e-signature, therefore Floyd is not signing or submitting? When you file by ECF, the signature is filing it by ECF. The actual on the page doesn't matter. It could be just /S Floyd Wallace. If Floyd Wallace submits it, it's Floyd Wallace's signature. Did Wallace ever specifically deny that Chile was drafting his motions? I believe he did. We can double check that though. Where was his opposition to the? I remember reading it. Complaint summons, motion to dismiss, motion to preclude. Then there's a motion to strike. Motion to extend time to respond. It's where he talks about plagiarism. Where does he talk about plagiarism? Oh, you can't even see what I'm looking at. Mm-hmm. He's saying that I copied. He said that he copied it. He said he copied it, so I don't know. The complaint, he said that he copied Chili's complaint. I don't mean to sound mean, but can there be anybody dumber than hiding around a firehouse with a rifle case? Do you get upset with poorly drafted legal docs because it makes your profession look bad, or is it a personal thing? Uh, you know, if you know your shit's going to get read out on the on YouTube, right? If you know your shit's going to get read out on YouTube, and you know your shit's going to get compared to Chili, like put some fucking effort into it, man. Like look professional. You don't have to write a 20-page paper. What's that guy? Josh Abrams' lawyer, also named Josh something or the other. He wrote very short, concise motions. They were excellent. Like just short, simple. You don't have to zhuzh it up. Just get it done. So it's kind of a professional thing, and yeah, it makes lawyers look bad. I think he's an attorney. He loves to argue. So does your mom. I don't think couriering is the same as e-filing. I don't think so either. But LVMPD accused Chili of filing at the clerk's office for Wallace. And they said that was practicing law, so that's why Chili went into couriering, or Wallace went and attacked the courier. I don't know. As dumb as Floyd is, I fear there may be a few people out there on his side even dumber, because you'd have to be to exploit Floyd's behavior. Just added website to your Discord that Chili used for torture cuffs. Adam Watkins and Lizzie Fields are now white. Scroll to the bottom. Alrighty. Discord. Share this tab instead. So he put in new pictures. Okay. Oh, you can't see this. Oops. Share this instead. So there's Adam Watkins and there's Lizzie Fields. He's now human research. What was the other one? Human behavior research. So he did zhuzh it up Human behavioral research. Tomatoes, chili, aka Floyd, are not even in the same ballpark. Even a first year lawyer is better, not much, but it's like comparing apples to assholes. A first year lawyer is going to be better than a pro se litigant. Puffery, sexy, but can they print? When's the last time Merb had a live trial? I'm guessing it's been a while, and Merb has pent up argumentation that's coming out tonight. Today, I had a DV trial today. So today, I had another DV trial last week. Yeah, I get trials fairly regularly. I think it was the great philosopher Kenobi who said who's more dumber, the idiot with the rifle case or the idiot that cheers for him? A scholar is associated with academics, not homeschooling. I know this, you know this, but there's no law in America that defines what a scholar is. So Chile can call himself a 20-year constitutional law scholar. Ha ha ha, I heard it. Innuendo. It is. It is an innuendo. Is Merb allowed to post 2 videos a day, or did I dream the court case Dan versus Merb's cock? I might need to start drinking more, perhaps. You should. You should. Can't be a day drinker unless you start in the morning. I haven't heard about Bobby Law in a while. I know. Illegal practice of law. Chile is no a lawyer or a law scholar. He's a dumbass douche canoe with a god complex. Okay. I'm not an attorney, and I'm not smart enough to have a legal team. Nice. Isn't Bobby Law in prison? What is the name? Gutierrez? Fred Gutierrez? I don't know that he's in prison. Rewinding. Now, there's a name I have not heard in a long time. Long time. Madison better not be here. I have restricted them. Good. Can we cut the lawyer a little slack? Can you imagine how many brain cells he lost going down the rabbit hole that is Chili's channel? Nope, I can't. I can't cut him any slack. I'm also smart enough to have a gardening team, a plumbing team, and an electrician team. Nice. Becca sent me one of her dildos so I can practice my skills for Merb. Nice. The use of right at the end. Yep, covered that one. They shouldn't sink to Wallace DeCastro's level in these filings, in my humble opinion. I can imagine it'd be frustrating to deal with these two, but still, yeah. I mean, if you're the professional, you should act like it. It could be Floyd Wallace's rights, using right at the end of the phrase. Could be asking for confirmation. Yep. Hey, Juan Galt. Juan. Hi, Christo. Juan, it's been a long time since we spoke. Logan. They want an evidentiary hearing? Apparently they do. Mom spaghetti. Good to see Roxy back. Kisses. Thanks. Now I'm seeing John Belushi throwing a plate of spaghetti against the wall in the movie 1941. Thank you again, Juan. Me too. I'm so glad you understand this. I am so glad I'm getting eaten to fucking death by these goddamn mosquitoes. Would the lawyer have made more sense to know the rules of evidence by providing transcripts rather than the lawyer telling in the motion what was said? No, you're supposed to say what was said. It would have been much better if he provided complete quotes or better quotes, like with the nouns and the verbs together. Denise, my friend, hello. Yeah, I do hope LVMPD gives the incorrect sick a sick. Saying it backhanded like this in the motion feels more like a page from Chili's playbook. Yeah, it does. As of a few weeks ago, Chili still hadn't completed the process for an ECF filer. He didn't sign and return the form. Does that mean that he has to file the form or return the form? So I don't know if you have access to know whether or not he's actually completed the form. That's my take on it. Hey, buddy. Lee Harvey Oswald or someone else assassinated President Kennedy. Exactly. All they need to do is give Floyd any sort of basic aptitude test and or sit him down with a computer in a courtroom with Chili forced to sit in the back and require Floyd to demonstrate his skills. Why would they do that? Like this isn't the burning question for the court that it is for you. And the court isn't going to do that. The court isn't going to order Floyd to have a basic aptitude test. They're not going to test him on his ability to prepare pleadings. Come on. Still going. Must be a long motion. That's what she said. If this moves forward to discovery, then wouldn't they get access to any and all unpublished texts and messages Chile and Floyd engaged in to set up this farce? Uh, I don't know why any of this would be relevant to anything in the complaint or anything in the answer. So I would suggest to you that no, this would be what we like to call irrelevant. Sitting down, breathing, and staring blankly at a computer are Floyd's only skills. That's kind of mean. He has a YouTube channel. He publishes videos. I think you're just being mean. When I say skills, I mean his legal research skills and skills at assembling and filing proper motions. Yeah, but the courts don't test people. Why does Wallace keep calling me Linda? I don't know, Linda. Why does he? DeCastro had to have gotten a username password somehow. Someone in IT would be able to figure it out pretty easily. Yes, but that is not. The court isn't going to initiate that sort of thing. I mean, remember when Chile asked the court to do it, and the court was like, no, and I was like, the court's not going to do it. The court was like, no. Well, again, this is that same situation, except now you want the investigation. It's the same fucking thing, guys. It's the same thing. Same result. He'd have a better chance of showing his skills by just playing solitaire. Floyd could still be using someone else's login to file. We know he's not, but so there's no way the courts can find out who filed them. There are ways, like I said, you could subpoena the IT logs or whatever to see who filed X document on Y date. It's definitely a frustrating filing. Floyd wouldn't know the difference between a club and a spade. Again, like, why do you need to insult the man? Lol, Murby. Why the fuck didn't they sign and date the stamp? They might have on Chile's copy, or they might not have. But you have to remember that after they stamped it, they scanned it in, and so it's going to show which clerk scanned it in on that. So if we go to, well, I think it should anyway. If we go to so right here, JQC is the one who scanned it in. And we know the date it was scanned in. There's probably something in there that indicates the time. So, like, what else do they need? It's in. This is what the court's going to look at. It's in there. The courts all use the computers now. They don't actually use paper files, or they don't have to. I guess they could. If the judge really wanted to use a paper file, they could. But in my experience, the court's just gonna use this system, and it says who's scanned it in. It says when it was scanned in. They don't need to sign it and date it. I hate that. Okay, relax. Whoever filed it, they should be able to look it up pretty easily. I would think yes. The IT guys probably could find out really quickly. Motion venture at fault, P motion. Okay, Patrick Reeners, nice. Thank you, sir. I'm shocked that the ECF system doesn't clearly identify the specific account. Yeah, again, been there, talked about that. DeCastro did file the original complaint. He might have handed it to the clerk, but prove it. Go ahead and prove it. Go ahead. Prove it. Yep. But Floyd might not know enough to say I copied Chile unless Chile tells him to say I copied Chile. He actually says plagiarism. I suspect it is. Page ID. Yep. It says, yep. Page ID. Yep. Hello, Frog. Did you see my comment asking about Bobby Law's current status? This judge had got to be beating his head on the desk after reading these motions from both sides. Maybe. It's so easy. Like you don't have to beat your head against it. Like, it's really simple. You issue an order saying that DeCastro can't assist Wallace in this, can't practice law, and then you deny the rest. It's so simple. So simple. It's not that hard. I don't know what that means. Could LVMPD or lawyers file a motion for discovery on the account that filed ECF? They might be able to subpoena those records from the ECF system. Maybe. This lawyer seems kind of retarded. Well, that's not very nice. I'm a pretty smart computer guy. I was wondering if he's in prison. If yes, what for how long, and where? Yeah, order that, LMFAO. I feel like you're mad at us. You should spank us all for being naughty. You should be so lucky. Oh, yes, a spanking, a spanking. Yes, you must give us all a good spanking. Chili's motions are better than this guy's motions. Fight me, I don't care. They're not, but and also it was an emotion. This was an opposition to emotion. Merb, you clearly can't see how they're playing Chili's petty game. Obviously, I don't think so. Google can be served with subpoenas to get the people's identification information since they would be paying them. Google can be served with subpoenas to get the people's identification information since they would be paying them. Oh, you're talking about Bobby Law. Go ahead and find Bobby Law's YouTube account, monetized. Oh, wait. Missing an E, dumbass. Would Batman be arrested to protect his secret identity? Isn't he either driving the Batmobile uninsured or committing insurance fraud? Maybe he's self-insured. Mark the Shark Tactics law student can write better locomotions. At least they got that warrant introduced. It doesn't help them. I mean, like that's big stuff to you. That's big stuff to you. Yeah, it doesn't help them. Basically, we don't give a fuck. Bye. As a geek and or nerd, I will stipulate it should only take a couple of minutes to look up what user password was used, assuming they know who to ask. Yeah. That's what subpoenas are for. Because they're confidential usernames and passwords, and they're not going to get out without a subpoena. I'm willing to go to the evidentiary hearing and testify as whale vomit, though I'm just a whale vomit. Well, that's very kind of you, whale vomit. It looks like some junior partner was given a nuisance case, and it looks like someone is padding the hours. This isn't padding. I don't see padding here. I don't see padding. It's not a good motion, but it's not padding. And I don't think this guy's a junior partner. I would bet that Mr. Anderson is not a partner. I bet he's an associate. Let's see. Let's look at his pleading. Oh, he's not signing under anybody else's name, so maybe he is a partner. I would still guess. He's just an associate. I looked him up in the past. Maybe he is a partner. It doesn't really matter. I wish I could remember all the words from the Batman theme song. Na 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 na. I'm here and I exist. Kissy face. Not us. We give a fuck. I meant that nobody is going to prosecute Chili for this nonsense. Yeah, I don't think they're going to prosecute him for the unlawful practice of law. I mean, it's theoretically possible. I just don't think anybody cares enough. Has this lawyer ever argued in front of this specific judge before? Is it possible he's writing any of these motions to highlight something he knows is a push of this judge's buttons? Maybe. It's possible. Oh, he is a shareholder. He is a shareholder. 30 trials. More than 30 jury trials. 15 appeals. And is argued in front of the Nevada Supreme Court. His other interests, plural, include working out. It's a lot of interests, brother. A lot of interests. Oh, you're not seeing all this. These are some of the cases that he's represented people on. So, like, uh, you could look them up and see if they've been in front of this particular magistrate or judge. I don't know. I don't know in federal court if you can get the same kind of home court advantage as because this is over 8 years. It's not a lot of cases. Like the real home court advantage ones are like public defenders or DAs. They're in front of the same judges all the time. Those are the ones that you usually see have home court advantage. Are you just wanting attention or are you just special needs? Yeah. Yes. I love it when you read through the side chat. Nice. Rosy palm shaking. Rosy palm shaking. Can I retain Bobby Law, X Factor, and Shauna in a little real estate matter I'm working on? I think Floyd is a little busy right now. Maybe. I know Bobby Law, he worked for Patrick. What is that little fucker's name? News Now Patrick? Bobby Hill. That looks like a pea jug. Nice. Chili's response to this is going to be epic. It's probably going to be pretty fucking terrible. Someone should mind that attorney that brevity is the soul of wit. Yes, it is. D-Bag Patrol has a new video. Nice. It appears that Chili likes to delegate his work to others. Someone edits his videos. He has people do research for him. Maybe someone is doing legal work as well. Maybe. Hanging out with my wang out. Nice. Me too. Chili is live. Has already mentioned this. Happy Tuesday. Thus thrice inconceivable. Page 10. Chili is live. Has already mentioned this. The little pic at the top left of the site has 6 fingers and a thumb. I counted 5. Am I retarded? This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total digits. And this one down here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get 6. I think you're fucking with me. Our country, they don't believe in spell check on that website, apparently. Yeah, probably not. I put the link of another Lizzie and Adam in your Discord. Okay. I don't see another Lizzie and Adam. But okay. Someone should add Bobby Law to that site. Nice. The second picture is an actual stock wolf. You'd be amazed at the licensing costs for an actual wolf. I am Brit Bitch usually. Changed my name after Castro said he was accused of being a he was in federal informer. Now I can't change it back for 12 days. Well, I mean, make the best of it. Snitch on them tits. Merb got me through workday. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Sorry, but I want to make a point. Life sucks. Why not be a prick? That's not a point. And you don't want to endanger your goals by being a prick. Yeah, we got that one already. Who is Eugene and why does he annoy me? I know, right? If Mr. Chili took a chill pill, he wouldn't be in this mess. Guy is just too angry. I agree. Thanks for including fighting words. Helpful. You're welcome. Music Biz Marty is the king, clearly. Pro boner. My pelvis hurts. All of Jake Paul's fights are rigged, clearly. After party at that address. 69th like. Dog tastes great. If you could get into a boxing match with one other YouTuber, who would it be? Boxing match with a YouTuber. Probably Kate. She's got those big old fun bags, and she could take a joke. And I don't know. Hello, baby. 69th. DLZ clips just state in chat they're not associating with Floyd anymore. Oh, who the fuck cares? So somebody who has a known dissociation from the truth makes a claim about Floyd, and now all of a sudden everybody has to run with it and virtue signal about it. Like, fucking whatever, dude. I just saw Fast Times at Ridgemont High last night. I was hoping Phoebe Cates would reprise her role, but was disappointed. Gizmo was cute, though. Dan said he'll take you up on your offer. Sweet. Coded. Hey, Coded. What's up, Logan? My dad is a TV repairman. He has an ultimate set of tools. I can fix it. John. Hello, baby. Hand pink waving. Hand pink waving. Lola WNN. There were several real Spicolis in my high school. After reading and listening to all of these court documents, I totally understand why attorneys are douchebags. You am having coffee and cake with the wife and son in the Hong Kong airport before they go to the home country and I head back to America. Well, enjoy your coffee and cake with your wife and son. Family is the most important thing. And, yep, nice. Hand pink wavy. Hand pink wavy. Thanks. Now I have a Life in the Fast Lane playing in my head. I get upset at poorly drafted pleadings because I don't know how to respond to mumbo jumbo. I get upset at poorly drafted pleadings because I can read English. 13 hours alone in Amsterdam coming up. Imagine the stock photos I will be posting. Remember to wear a rubber. I get upset at poorly drafted pleadings because I can't read English. Nice. Whether you partake or not, please get me some photos of the weed in beer bars in Amsterdam. I only made it to Utrecht. I've been to the Melkweg. I was also swindled out of $30 by an American junkie at the International Phone Center. Poor Dildan, the Welsh window licker, never gets out of his government-subsidized council house. Meanwhile, Coded is leaving Hong Kong, heading to Amsterdam to smoke some weed with my non-demon Irish friend. The man with no nose. DEET and citronella spirals make your chagai more strong. Monkey House. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm quite drunk. Hi. I don't assemble motions. I buy mine from Planet Q like chili. You need to know what you're asking for when you request a subpoena. Yes, you do. Coded, stop posting stock photos and get back to parking Dan's Bentley. What is your favorite Pokemon? Mine is Cyrax. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I'm drinking sweet tea with orange slices and kiwi. These Asians know how to do tea. I was the 70th like. I'm sorry. The bromance between Chili and Wallace is over. Is it? You and I need to talk cheese ramyun? Cheese ramyun sometime. And yeah, I spelled that correctly. If you beat up a mentally handicapped man who's addicted to crack in a Batman costume, are you a bad person? Probably. It is because of the Heather Dollarhide accusations. I know. Anyway, I've reached the end of my list. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.